Hello there, my name's Jeff McGregor. I am the CEO and founder of Wonks. I spoke to Sally this morning regarding the ENL navigation site and some of the questions that she had, and I thought that it would be easier to record this video than to write it all out in long form. Before I get started, I do just want to apologize for the mess that's behind me. It does not normally look like this in my office, but we have just built a new wall partitioning my office so that we had more space for another meeting room as we are growing. So let me get started by sharing my screen and show you uh, what I've observed. So first things first, obviously doing the search for the business results in the business website on Google and then the Google My Business listing on the right-hand side. So an okay number of reviews. Definitely want to get those up. They're a big SEO indicator, not only because humans will read them and it validates the business as being professional and good at their job, but also because the machine that's indexing will take it seriously if there are human-induced reviews. When looking at this listing, there is a bit of work that can be done to pad that out. There are no products in there, and you can connect now your merchant center with your Google My Business listing so that your products are live on the listing. Also recommend posting to it regularly. So it says you've got two further profiles as well. You've got a Facebook profile, which actually has a really decent number of likes. You posted recently, so shows that you've got quite a regular focus on that, or at least three posts this year so far. So the question I guess you'd want to be asking is how can you generate more business from organic social posting? We excel at paid social ads, but that is typically a second step after we complete the data health kit. Then looking at your Twitter page hasn't been updated since 2019, so 6 years. I may say to you, if you're not going to use that, that you would unpublish it, though we ourselves use X as an advertising platform because it has a very engaged user base, but also the cost of advertising on this platform is low comparative to Google and to Meta. So the main sort of, I guess, workhorse of online advertising is Google. And so that would be where we would start for all businesses. When looking at the site, I'll go through to the homepage. The site is fundamentally good. I would not be recommending it to be rebuilt or anything along those lines, but there are issues with it. First and foremost, this is taking me to, and naturally I'm going to this as a menu option. This is taking me to another website, which is your international site, but it is not opening it in a new tab. So very confusing from a user journey perspective. I'm coming to the site, I'm clicking on what you would expect to be the most important piece of the site to visit because it's the first in your navigation, and it takes me somewhere else. And for certain browsers, that might come up with a warning telling me that this is a phishing exercise. So something to consider there. When I go through to an actual page, though, I'm getting this pages extension in the URL of the site, and it is happening on all of the site's pages. That should not be there. It is not helping the organic indexing of the site. There's something called clean URLs, and at the moment, this is in the way of that. I go back to the home page. Great, there's a member login and that you can create an account, but there is no phone number in the header. You've got a phone number in the footer, and you've got contact details here, and then in the lower stages, and then again in the footer. Why do we not have details up here? The purpose of most sites is going to be inducing a user to get into contact with you. So the more phone numbers, the more call to actions that you have on the site, the better off things are going to be. If we go through to the contact page, again, great hero image, but I've already seen the hero images. I want the contact details. I would be sending them to this. I immediately get what I'm looking for. Um, no recapture on this page, which I definitely recommend that you had to reduce spam, but none of this is being tracked. So you've got phone link click, email link click, and form submission. And the way that I know that that's not being tracked is because we have a tool called Tag Assistant. And when I run that on the site, it's telling me that you have an outdated universal analytics that got deprecated in 2023. And then you've got two further tags. This one here is a merchant center tag. And then this one here, you can see merchant center. And this one here is Google Analytics, which will be Google Analytics 4, but it's suggesting that there is an issue with that. I also see there is no tag manager account. Now, the fact that there's no tag manager account means that none of this can be tracked. None of these details, these contact details, anywhere on the site, which means we cannot understand the value of any advertising that you might put forward, and you don't know currently where users who come to the site have come from. So do they come from the Facebook page? Do they come from organic? Do they come to the site directly? So there's a lot of visibility that's missing on the site currently. Now, all of that can be resolved in the first job we do, the data health kit. So that's not a difficult thing to do. Simply put, it needs to be done. Not unusual that it hasn't been delivered for you. So the site's interesting in the sense that it has obviously lead generation, which is form submission, email and click, phone click, but then you have the revenue side, you have the product sides. And because you don't have tag manager, none of the revenue that you may sell on the site will be pulling through to the analytics. And again, if you're going to use advertising and you're going to run shopping ads, so if we were to go Bruno GPS, I don't know if I spelled that correctly. Here we go. You would want to run one of these ads. These are called shopping ads, in order for you to get you showing up organically in the top spot, which is great. But if you were to run one of these ads, you'd want to be able to teach the ad platform who is the most likely to purchase, and that's going to be based upon the analytics. So you'd need to pull that through. And then I would suggest that the Merchant Center needs some configuration in here as well. Again, all of this is 101 stuff. This is not difficult, but it has not been done for you, and therefore will be hindering the overall success of the online presence. So then we have the second site. If I do the same tag assistant process for this, interestingly enough, this does not work. So it does the debug, but then it won't connect to the site, which first and foremost doesn't allow me to see whether or not the tagging is set up, but it does suggest that there is an underlying issue. Both sites from my other tool show me that they're Shopify sites, which is great. Shopify is a fantastic platform to use, but there's a few things that are not done correctly, so couldn't connect to it for whatever reason. That indicates to me there may be another indexing issue as well. So this site, again, is your internationally focused site from what Sally was telling me. Clean, good. Might not want to have a phone number in the header for this one, just given that it is an international site, but again, doesn't have one. Different layout, but again, contact details. I doubt that they're being tracked. And then this is more of a brochure type site. On a page like this, these really need to be teased out. These points will not be indexed correctly by Google, and in the 2025 onwards realm of online activity, you're now having to deal with what's called GEO, generative engine optimization, and that is that your site needs to be found on the likes of ChatGPT, Meta's AI, X's AI, and so at the moment, this page is not correctly tagged in a number of different areas. So, the title being S series, what does S series relate to as a product? It might make sense to you, but to Google, a lot of things could be an S series. I think Mercedes has an S series vehicle. So wanting to make sure that we have S series and then potentially the product itself, and then again, maybe WASP. So WASP multi-beam seemingly is what it is. So this is quite prosaic to fix. It requires time to roll through all of it. Um, but the site fundamentally is sound. It just needs to have the polish. And again, we start with the data health kit so that we can use the data, the analytics, the search console to understand how best to deliver results and where you currently sit. Just finally, in terms of the data health kit, we include three audience lists and then a display campaign. The first list is for remarketing that follows users around. So anyone who goes to the site will have your ad follow them around. That list can be open for up to a year and a half. Typically, we would say no more than 90 days, and the ads are limited at 4 times per week that a user would see them to not saturate your brand. But we also have a competitor audience list. So any marine deals, or probably not AliExpress or eBay, just because they're such large players, but Advanced Trident might be another one which you would want. If someone searched for those brands or competitors on Google in the last 7 days, your ad will follow them around. And then finally, an audience list for just your general products. So you might be putting in here, we go back to this, all your cameras. So Iris 750 underwater inspection camera. Someone searches for that, they leave your site, they're going for, so they leave Google and go to YouTube or Herald or stuff. They will then see your ad saying we have an Iris 750 underwater inspection camera. So really quite a versatile way, highly relevant ads at a comparatively cheap price. So that is a really quick and I'd say probably dense overview of what I have observed with your two sites. More than happy to sit down and have a conversation. I've sent a 25% discount data health kit quote for the enl.co.nz site, which Sally will receive with this video. Feel free to come back to me and ask any questions, or perhaps we can come in and have a chat about things. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to watch and have a good day.